One of the biggest things that people aren't looking at with the acquisition of Kristaps Porzingis is something I'm sure we've talked about in the past. But when the Celtics acquired Al Horford, it wasn't just what they got from Al Horford, which has been substantial, that benefited them. What also benefited them was when they went to the two big lineup, you changed the positions of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jayson Tatum became a 3, Jaylen became a 2. And all of a sudden now they had size advantages at those positions. And, you looked at the defense this year, the defense was better last year. And it's not just because of emphasis. It's because you had a bigger team. You had those guys with size advantages defensively. So with Porzingis, I'm pretty sure you're going to see a double big, right? In some combination at most all the time, you're going to see, Porzingis, Rob Williams, Al Horford, 2 of the 3 most all the time. And that means that if with Tatum and Brown on the floor, they're bigger players now in their matchups. And yeah, you're losing defense in Marcus Smart, but that will help defense in a certain, for those spots anyway. So yeah, I think that will improve Jaylen right there. The other stuff Jaylen needs to improve is simple basketball stuff. I mean, it's ball handling, driving into traffic. I mean, that's basic stuff. When you're coming around to pick, when you're getting into traffic, you've got to get low. And it's simple physics. If you're driving and you're more upright, the ball has further to travel. That's more of an opportunity for a hand to get in, to whack the ball away, all those different things. I mean, there's been players over the years. My favorite example is Jameer Nelson, who made a living off pick and roll basketball because he always got low. You get your shoulders low, you turn the corner tight, it makes you faster. It's vector rules. Go back to your physics class. So yeah, I mean, all that stuff I think should improve by Jaylen. But again, having the size edge. I mean, look, he clearly benefited by playing small forward this year because of the injuries that kind of kept the Celtics from playing the double big. It benefited him because whereas this coming year, they're going to go to positionless for all NBA. If Jaylen was playing guard this past year, probably would have had a hard time making all league and becoming eligible for the Supermax. So you got the benefit of that position switch, so to speak.
The CLNS Media Network is powered by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed.
You alluded to some of this just now in terms of just talking about the bigs and new configuration and what they've lost, obviously, from not only last year, but years past when, Marcus around, had been, the longest tenured Celtic, had been around forever. Grant Williams had been around for a number of years as well. Philosophically, the organization had preached defense, maybe more so than it will this coming year. We'll find out, obviously, what the scheme and everything looks like. I've been on the soapbox saying that I just don't feel like they're done. And maybe I'll be wrong about that. And I've been wrong before. It won't be the first or last time. But, and when I say that, I don't mean adding like a veteran minimum guy or re-signing Blake Griffin or something like that. I mean, I thought I expected a trade with Grant Williams, but I wasn't thinking 2 second-round picks. I thought they'd get an asset back. I'm still thinking about, I just envision them still wanting to get off of Malcolm Brogdon's contract. I don't think that necessarily died with the deal with the Clippers falling through. And I know some have reported that some of those conversations have resurfaced. So maybe there's still something there. We'll see. I feel like there's something else coming that truly alters this roster, not concerning the Jays, but what's around them as they continue to build in that way. Do you feel that way? Do you have any sense of that based on people you've spoken with in your reporting? Or do you think what we have right now is more or less what it's going to be?
No, I felt that way when they made the move, the move for Porzingis, that there's more to come. But right now, I don't picture Brogdon being involved unless you get back
a guard,
prime time point guard in return as part of that deal. Last year, Brogdon was kind of a luxury to a degree, right? Here's this guy that's clearly a talented player that you're able to bring off the bench. And, you know, if it works, it works. This is great. You know, if they'd been healthy all year, then we would have had three guys essentially for one position, right? You would have Marcus, Derek White, and Malcolm. Sure, yeah, the one of those guys is going to move over the two on, you know, in the rotations or whatever, but not for huge amounts of time. But now Brogdon, without Marcus Smart, Brogdon is critical to this team, unless, like I said, you get something back in return that can approach that kind of productivity and consistency.
It feels more like a midseason move, though, Kaufman. We've talked about that. I think it's you take a step back and see what you got, and then, you know, it feels like the Derek White trade where they go out and add a valuable piece and just, you know, where you can sit back and say, hey, we need we need a connector, right? We need someone to connect the rest of this basketball team together because they don't have enough guys that are quote unquote pass first. So it feels like they're going to take it. They'll have this roster. They'll go into the season with the majority of this roster intact, and then say, you know, come January, take a step back and say, okay, what does the landscape look like right now? Where are we in the standings? What do we really actually need? And this feels like, the Derek White trades, they'll pick somebody that they like and focus on that person. And if they have to pay a little bit of a premium for it, they will. And, it worked out for a lot of their trades so far, Derek White being maybe the best one. And I think at this point, you're going to maybe have to trust Brad a little bit for reading this roster because he's done a nice job with it.
The CLNS Media Network is powered by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed.